From Daniel Studios in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's the Dennis Daniel Show. Tonight's guest, voice actress Maryke Hendrikse. And your announcer, me, Belle Dandy. And now, here's your host. He is Cincinnati's next big radio personality, Mr. Dennis Daniel.
You smell what The Rock is cooking? Know your role and shut your mouth. The Rock's laying the smackdown. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, it's me, it's the good old Double D, and you are tuned in to Blog Talk Radio's greatest talk show, The Dennis Daniel Show. I am your host. I'm kind of like the Revy of Blog Talk Radio, because I just don't give a fuck. Dennis Daniel. This installment of The Dennis Daniel Show is brought to you by Cutie Mark Con, Cincinnati, Ohio's first ever My Little Pony convention. May 31st through June 2nd at the Crown Plaza, Cincinnati North, just outside of Cocoa Keys. That's right, folks. Why am I plugging a My Little Pony convention? Because we are now officially on the road to Cutie Mark Con. Yeah, I know we have a lot of roads. We have a road to Otakon, a road to WrestleMania, and a road to Cutie Mark Con, because we are partnering up with Cutie Mark Con to bring you guys a series of incredible interviews that'll just make you say... Anyway, we start tonight on the road to Cutie Mark Con with, I think, one badass voice actress, Miss Maryke Hendrikse. And for those of you who don't know who Maryke Hendrikse is, oh boy, man, she has knocked some of these characters out of the park. You might know her best, and I'm trying to say this in a flattering tone. You might know her as the psychotic, crazy, heavy swearing, gun-toting, badass biatch Revy from the very popular Black Lagoon series. And for those of you who don't know, Black Lagoon Seasons 1 and 2 are now available for Blu-ray at Funimation.com. Funimation, you should be watching. And you might also know her as, which one? They're like two twins. And, that's right. You might know her also as Susan Test from the very popular Johnny Test, which you can catch weekdays on Cartoon Network. And get this, just finished recording season 6. So those guys must be doing something right, because this show is just staying on there. It's got some staying power. Woo. And she's also known as Rolling Bubbles, or Bubbles, let's just call a spade, in Powerpuff Girls Z, which is the anime incarnation of the popular Powerpuff Girls series. But anyway, Miss Hendrikse, who, is obviously a badass for some reason, but, maybe this demo reel of some of her better-known roles will show you why Miss Hendrikse is such an awesome voice actress. So let's take a quick listen to what makes her so cool.
You hold this end of the rope on the other side of the trail. Then when Gil comes down, we'll trip him, causing him to crash, knocking his helmet off, where I will rip a chunk of hair out of his head, and then we will have our own... I've been eaten by cats, chasing by dogs, fought over by a ski geek, pecked in the head by a bionic bird. I will get that hair sample! It's just temporary insanity. Hey, what's up? Pinky, this is my griffin friend Gilda. What's a griffin? She's half eagle, half lion, and all awesome. That's right. I've never met a lamer bunch of dweebs in all my life. And Pinkie Pie, you are Queen Lame-o with your weak little party pranks. Did you really think you could make me lose my cool? Well, Dash and I have 10 times as much cool as the rest of you put together. Come on, Dash. We're bailing on this pathetic scene. Come on, Rainbow Dash. I said we're leaving. You You are such a flip-flop. Cool 1 minute and lame the next. When you decide not to be lame anymore, give me a call. Not cool.
Are you really that pathetic? Don't you have any pride left in you?
You really think you can judge me, Mr. White Collar?
What do you know about my life, huh?
What the hell do you know about me? Go on, why don't you tell me? A guy like you who spent his life in a safe little bubble. Shut up! It's convenient for you to see it like that! God damn it! This isn't one of those cheap, picaresque Hollywood films you love to talk about. There are no heroes in this life!
And what's all this about pride? Fuck your pride. Look around you. It's shit as far as the eye can see. I hate to break it to you, but there is no fucking Robin Hood.
Okay, wait. Let's think about this. If I know Buttercup and you know me, then I guess that means we all go to the same school. Does that sound right?
Yeah, duh. It's not that hard to figure out.
What? Must have been fate that brought the three of us together. They're a perfect team. No thanks. It's just a coincidence. That's all it is. A coincidence.
When it comes to you and men, huh? You may as well be dead.
That's the thing. We fuckers don't die so easy. Bang!
Yeah, I know that story all too well, Fuckers don't die easy. And I've been shot at by a lot of people, both animated and non-animated, so I'm still here, so I guess I'm a fucker. So sue me. But anyway, folks, I'm really excited. I've been excited for this moment, and I've been kind of nervous for this moment, because you never know what you're going to expect when that person answers after I say, welcome to the Dennis Daniels Show. You never know what's going to happen. You might get someone nice. You might get someone mean. You might get someone insulting you to your face. You never know. But you know what? That's what makes the Dennis Daniels Show so incredible. So let's get right down to this. Oh boy, this is going to be great. My guest tonight is a very popular voice actress who many know best as Revy from Black Lagoon and Black Lagoon The Second Barrage, both out on Blu-ray from Funimation. And she's also known as Susan Test from the popular Johnny Test, which you can catch weekdays on Cartoon Network. And if that wasn't enough, you can catch her at Cutie Mark Con, May 31st through June 2nd at the Crown Plaza in Cincinnati. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up for the one, the only Miss Maryke Hendrikse! Miss Hendrikse, thank you, and welcome to the Dennis Daniels Show.
Hi, thank you for having me, Dennis. I laughed actually quite a bit during your intro stuff. It was awesome.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's someone nice. Huh. That's normally...
I was contemplating. I was like, should I come on and just go, you know what, Dennis, go fuck yourself. And then I thought,
well, I think that's a new record. 30 seconds and the first F-bomb's been dropped. Damn. Ow, and that's probably not the first show I'm going to take from Revy in this program, so stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, a lot of F-bombs. We're going to have a regular Sailor's Night here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to do. Oh, gosh, but seriously, this is truly a huge honor. Seeing this Black Lagoon, it had me just drop my own F-bombs and going, what the fuck is this show? What is this show on? But
yeah,
it's gotten some really, really awesome reviews. Let's read a couple right here. From Anime News Network, a big hit, sexy heroine, loads of coarse language and graphic violence, great visuals, and a kickin' musical score. And now that's time up to 100 because it's now on Blu-ray high def.
That's great.
Oh, it is great. Which means, in order to enjoy Revy, you have to be high and deaf. I know. Oh, gosh. Okay. So anyway, we'll talk more about that a little later on in the show. So, what got you interested in acting?
I always wanted to be a performer from the time I was about 5. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. It's just something I've always wanted to do. And so kind of the natural evolution of my career, or of people's career in general, as an actor, you kind of work in as many aspects of the business as you can, from film, on-camera stuff, commercials, theater, and voiceover. And if you're lucky, you can do all the different mediums, I suppose. And so that's kind of how my career just sort of evolved. I've always been really focused on it. It was something, as I said, that I wanted to do since I was 5, and I was just always super focused on it. Had fights with my father about not wanting me to be a performer, and just the whole 9 yards.
Oh wow, man, that's got to be rough, going against what your father wants. But then again, it's your life. You can't live his life for him. So you gotta be able to branch out there and take that chance. And I think you just taken that shot and you just hit that fly out of the park. Just like,
oh, thanks. You're right. I mean, you can't live anybody else's life, and your parents can't expect you to live their lives for them. And I actually had a really defining moment when I was about 14, and I was at Christmas dinner at my Auntie Mavis's house, and my dad and I were having a discussion for whatever reason over turkey and whatever else about me taking physics. And I was like, I'm not taking physics because I'm not going to university because I'm going to be a performer. So stop talking to me about physics. And we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until finally I just didn't yell but said quite loudly, "Dad, it's my life." And there was this silence at the table because my cousins didn't talk to their dad like that. And then after about 2 seconds of silence, my Auntie Mavis starts to clap. And it was a hugely defining moment in my life. It's my life, and I can do with it what I want.
It's like that song, "It's my life, it's now or never. I don't want to lose." Okay, it's enough of that there. Yeah, but I know. Yeah, just that's what the show's about, nonsense. But so, do you have any kind of education in acting?
No, I know a lot of people that I've worked with over the years. Went to a conservatory type program, either at university or at theater school. No, I have very little education as an actor. I have taken a couple of classes over the years. I did a workshop in London, England. That was I always forget if it's 4 or 6 weeks that I was there in England, studying with some amazing teachers and artists in their own right. For example, Sir Ian McKellen was one of our teachers. Gandalf was our teacher. That's pretty cool. I
have a quick question. If you failed at one of his exams, would he go, "You shall not pass"?
He might have, although that was before he was in Lord of the Rings. So who knows?
That joke's totally irrelevant now.
But he could have done something else. We also, Alan Rickman did a lecture series with us, and he was the nicest man.
Yeah, so
that's Snape.
Oh, Snape. Oh, that guy gets me.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Anyways,
creeper.
So no, I have had very little training as an actor, but I look at my career as an apprenticeship. I was very fortunate to learn while on the job, and I think it served me best.
That's still pretty cool. I mean, you may not have any education in acting, but I know you've got an education. You graduated from Douglas College in 2010 with a child and youth care diploma, and you had a GPA of 4.15 out of a possible 4.33 that earned you a Governor General's Bronze Medal, and that's on Wikipedia. Yeah. So if it's wrong, then just yell at Wikipedia.
No, it's true.
Gosh, man. Brains and a kick-ass voice. Man, that's like a dangerous combination. That's like baking soda and vinegar. Explosive. BlogTalkRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Maryke Hendrikse on the air, best known as Revy from Black Lagoon. And Black Lagoon Seasons 1 and 2, now available for Blu-ray on Funimation. And if you're in the Cincinnati area, you can catch her at the brand new Cutie Mark Con, which takes place this May, and we're going to have a little bit more information about it later on in the program. So let's get into some voice acting stuff here. One of your earliest known roles was a Thunderblast in Transformers Cybertron. What was it like working on that series and having one, and I Googled this, and I'm not sure, but I think that you had one of the only female Transformers characters in that entire series. Now, I Googled it, I was looking, I'm like, I think Thunderblast was the only female robot.
She's the only female Decepticon, yes.
Oh, a Decepticon.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. I didn't know that till afterwards, that she was the only female character, but I've since learned that fact. At least I'm pretty sure it's a fact. I'm in the same, I understand the same things that you do, that she was the only one. It was cool. It's one of the things that when people ask me about my career and stuff, it's one of the things that I often tell guys. I was a Transformer, and then they, start to go, oh, wow. It's kind of funny to see the reaction about the Transformer thing, because, a lot of guys played Transformers when they were younger and maybe collect them and do things when they're older, but, it was a cool show. It was dubbing, so we dubbed it from the original. I think it's Japanese originally. So that, that poses its own interesting challenges when you dub. But I like dubbing. It's fun for me. So I enjoyed the whole show. It was cool. Yeah. And I'm like one of the only nerds. I read my dubbing scripts before I go to a session, like a big nerd. Most people don't read their dubbing scripts.
Oh, well, no, that's totally cool because you want to be able to give the best performance you can, and you want to be able to, so you have to go in there stumbling in like, what's going on? Oh. But yeah, it's really weird that there's only one female Transformer on that entire series. Yeah. I guess then again, it was more focused towards guys watching it instead of girls. But I mean,
right.
And they're robots for Pete's sake. They're not going to high school and finding out about feelings and whatnot. So I guess I can understand why there only be one female Transformer.
Yeah.
But that just makes you more special.
I think so. It's pretty good. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing for sure.
I don't know. They could have had a few more in there. Didn't want to make the Transformers universe seem sexist.
Yeah, I think that's probably too late for that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, anyway, one of your best known roles, and oh boy, I got the helmet on for this one, is Revy from the very popular Black Lagoon, and seasons 1 and 2 of Black Lagoon and Black Lagoon: The Second Barrage are now available on Blu-ray in a combo pack from Funimation. So, they might want us in the bomb squad if they put that in the Best Buy because, it's just so explosive and everything.
It is pretty explosive.
Yeah. So what was it like working on the series, and what do you think of your character?
It was amazing. It's actually my favorite role, besides actually Susan Test. I really like playing Susan Test. It's my favorite role that I've ever done. I loved every second of it. Just everything about that show for me was what an amazing character to be able to play. In an amazing show, we had a great cast. The actual animation is beautiful. It's so well done. And, you don't often get a chance, especially when you're doing animation, to sink your teeth into something like that. So for me, that's a huge privilege to be able to play somebody with a lot of depth and a lot of things going on, and the swearing part of it was fun too. So I love playing her. What do I think of her? I mean, I think she's super interesting. I think that she's in looking at her relationship with Rock, I think that you can see a lot of things about her. That's where her vulnerabilities, if you even can call them vulnerabilities, because they're pretty, they're fairly veiled vulnerabilities. That's when they start to come out. And I think that all that stuff and all the things about her on the inside are very interesting. And certainly I concocted a whole bunch of stories about her in my mind, which I sort of drew upon to play her character in the certain scenes and things that she would say and what her belief system is. And so I found it a really creatively rewarding process. And the director and I work really well together, James Corrigal, and so there was some collaboration that we did. The English translation and the writing was fabulous, and every now and again, James and I would change things in the spirit of what the writer had given us to give the editing team a different idea. And oftentimes the choices that we made were in the final edit. So it was pretty, as I say, creatively very rewarding to play her.
I gotta say, I mean, you really knocked it out of the park. A lot of people think that Revy is just one of the most badass women to ever come out of anime, and
she's pretty badass.
And I think the only fault that she has is that she doesn't have enough arms to hold any more guns.
she'd do well with, a couple other arms, but you can't get much better anyway.
Oh no, yeah, and you were talking about picturing, background stories. One thing that comes to mind with Revy is that maybe she was an ex-cop that went over the line. They're like, all rights are reserved, Revy. Oh yeah, what about the rights of that little girl?
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I mean, anything that you can come up with as an actor in your mind to motivate a character that makes sense is your own private business. And if you were playing Revy and that was your choice, that would be a really interesting one. Very interesting, actually. It's not something that occurred to me, but I like it.
I gotta tell you this, though. Revy has some balls. I gotta tell you that much. For a girl, she's got some really big balls, and I think that they wanted to prove that, a girl could be just as badass as a guy. And I think Revy, with you just knocking it out of the park there, I thought that you guys did an incredible job. And I think one of my favorite scenes from that entire series was just when Revy was just laying the smackdown on Roberta. It was just a
Is that the scene where the balalaika and they're all at the loading dock?
They're at the loading dock, and she is just they're going to town on each other. And then Rock's trying to break it up, and you both go, stay the fuck out of this!
Yep. Roberta's her own special brand of crazy, that's for sure.
Yes, and I gotta tell you what, Tabitha St. Germain just knocks that out of the park as well. I never thought a maid could have a machine gun in an umbrella.
I know, eh? Tabitha, just in general, everything she does is utterly brilliant and utterly, for me, I love working with her and watching her work and being in things with her because she really is just a genius, honestly. There's nobody like her, frankly.
And well, one day I hope to have her on the program because she is in high demand, apparently.
She is in very high demand, as she should be. She's excellent.
Well, you should be in high demand too. You're just as good.
No.
Oh, don't.
There are levels, and there's nothing wrong with me not being quite that. I'm cool with it. She's special. She really is special. So
yeah. BlogTalkRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Maryke Hendrikse on the air, best known as Revy from Black Lagoon, Susan Test from Johnny Test, which you can catch weekdays on Cartoon Network, and she's coming to Cincinnati this May for Cutie Mark Con, Cincinnati's first ever My Little Pony convention. And why is she coming? More on that later on in the program. Another role you're really known for is Susan Test from Johnny Test, which, by the way, you can catch weekdays on Cartoon Network. What is it like to play her, and how does it feel to know that the show has been going strong for almost 8 years? And we were talking before the show, season 6 is now done, and that's pretty good for a regular animated cartoon. So what's it like working on that program?
It's great to work on that program. I love Susan. She makes me laugh. I love her very, she's very type A personality. Everything is supposed to go a certain way. Everything, she's extremely smart. And she has no qualms about just saying whatever she wants. Whether she's being rude to people, there was this one episode where I can't remember the scenario, but all I know is that there was an older man in one of the scenes, and Susan was just annoyed by the stuff that he was saying, and she said to him something along the lines of, "Oh, keep your pants on, Grandpa." I mean, that's just so inappropriate for a 13-year-old girl to say to an older person, but I still playing her is hilarious. And the creator of the show, Scott Fellows, who for many seasons has voice directed us over the phone because he's in LA and we're in Vancouver, is such a pleasure to work with. Such a creative guy, so funny, and just really nice. And so when I'm working on that show, it's a real pleasure to go to work.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot with a lot of shows nowadays. Some of the cast is in Canada and some of the cast is in L.A.
Yep.
I know the voice of Johnny, who's also the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, the Clone Wars. He records in L.A. and then they bring it to Canada and they merge it all together. And it's the same thing with My Little Pony with Tara Strong, who is in L.A. and she records there, and you have the Canadian cast up in Canada. So, that's really cool that technology has come so far that, you don't even have to be in the same room to do the show.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. I agree with you. It's very, when we record with James Arnold Taylor, who's Johnny, it's like he's in the room. because we hear him. We record all together. And we're lucky. We're very lucky to be able to have him to play off of, because obviously he's the lead character, so it's good to have his lines and his delivery and his sense of humor and all that stuff that he brings to Johnny. And so it's good. It's the technology has certainly been helpful for this industry, most definitely in that regard.
I can't believe you can be halfway across the globe and just bring them together. And I mean, that is just mind-blowing. And I take my hat off to the audio engineers who make those shows sound so incredible. And
I know, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Johnny Test was actually nominated for an Emmy, and it was for sound design, I want to say. I'm almost sure it was sound design.
Wow.
So, as you were saying, this was a couple of years ago. Hats off to the sound guys, because they're pretty amazing at their job.
Hey, everyone has a big part in a cartoon series. Unfortunately, the people who make the credits don't think that either. So,
yeah,
it's like a little blur going right by. Of course, working on Johnny Test, you've got all kinds of great voices there. You've got, of course, you've got Trevor Duvall, who I think is really funny. Of course, you also got Scott McNeil there too. It's so cool that you guys get to work on so many great shows together, and you guys can play off each other because you know what's going to come because of just the experience that you guys had. It's like a mind sync, like a.
Yeah, you do get used to working with the different actors in town, because we do, as you say, work together pretty regularly, and every now and again you're lucky enough to get a show like Johnny Test that runs 6 seasons, and so you're very familiar with each other's characters. But because of all the incidental characters that come in and out of Johnny Test, it's a kid in the school, a bus driver, the dog pound, the dog catcher kind of guy. It's hilarious. We are usually cracking up in the studio, because even though you know each other pretty well, the stuff that comes out of people's mouths that, tons of times is kind of unexpected and will always make people laugh. So it can be actually quite new a lot of the time.
Well, not in my case. I don't make anyone laugh.
That's not true.
Oh, I know, but hey, I gotta keep this stuff rolling here. But yeah, I gotta say, it's just so cool that this show has been going for so long. 8 years, nearly 8 years. I remember when this came out on Kids WB, and I was still in high school. And I'm like, and you were like, man, this is like 8 years ago. You're still doing this show. If there's one thing to say about Johnny Test, it's got staying power. And I think, I don't see any way that's going to stop, because people are going to keep watching it, and it's just going to get pretty good. But of course, you don't got to sell yourself so short, because would Johnny Test be the show that it is without the random hijinks of his sisters, turning him into all these crazy things and giving him all these dangerous inventions?
Yeah. No, you're right. It wouldn't be the same. It really wouldn't be the same. I mean, the whole thing is about the craziness of these two girls and giving these things to their brother. I mean, all the nonsense that happens because of their experiments, for sure.
Yeah. And of course, during that side, they're also trying to get some with Gil.
They sure are trying to get some with Gil. It's just a constant obsession with them. It's so ridiculous.
But, this is the theory behind this. If they get Gil, what's going to happen next with them? You're not going to have anything to go off with them after that.
No, didn't they make that mistake on Who's the Boss?
Yeah, we found out who was the boss, and the show wasn't as good anymore.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It's like with Hogan's Heroes. If they ever escaped Stalag 13, the show would be over.
Yep.
Susan and Mary and Gil, that's like the Roadrunner Coyote. Coyote's never going to catch the Roadrunner, but it's fun to watch them try. So for all you naysayers out there, shut the fuck up and enjoy the show. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, really.
You should really just relax.
It is a cartoon.
Yeah. Well, of course, outside of Johnny Test and Black Lagoon, and this one many may not know you voiced for was Rolling Bubbles, or let's just call a spade, Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls Z, which I don't get how the show created here in the United States on Cartoon Network never made its way to the United States Cartoon Network. So, what was it like working on that series, and what did you like about voicing Bubbles?
It was a project that I really enjoyed, because I just thought Bubbles was so cute. Like, so absolutely guileless. Completely, she was just so innocent and so, just the things that she would say and the way that James allowed, that's the director, again, James Corgle, the same director who directed Black Lagoon. He let me do some of the most ridiculous things with her, and I'm grateful for that because we came up with some stuff for her that it's stuff that nobody else would necessarily even notice, but she was just sweet, and it was nice to play somebody that sweet and that energetic and that kind of innocent. It was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. It's a real shame that it never aired in the United States. Well, I mean, unless you count YouTube, which we don't count YouTube as airing in the United States.
Right.
That show could have just, it was just so well done. It took some concepts from the original Powerpuff Girls. Mm-hmm. Here's a guy, Craig McCracken, who made the original Powerpuff Girls, and I'm pretty sure he had some say in the Powerpuff Girls Z. And I thought it would have been a really good, incarnation for the new series, or for this new series to come on. Maybe Toonami, just show the Powerpuff Girls evolving. Give them an anime facelift. I mean, you had the characters that we all know and love. You had some new characters that we never knew existed, and it really, picked up where the Powerpuff Girls left off. And now that there are rumors that the Powerpuff Girls are coming back, so maybe, just maybe, Powerpuff Girls Z will get a chance to air in the United States.
It might. I mean, I was sort of, I forgot about it, essentially, almost, when I was finished recording. I just sort of forgot. You just move on to the next thing. But, when I would think of it every now and again, I was surprised that it never aired in the States. I mean, who knows? There's so many different reasons that, I could never understand the reasons for why broadcasters or production companies choose to air things in particular places. So I wouldn't even have the slightest idea why, but I was surprised. I thought that it would, particularly when you consider the amount of interest that Americans have in anime. I mean, it's not like it's a foreign concept to them. I mean, essentially, I suppose it is a foreign concept, but you know what I mean? It's not like it's something that nobody's ever heard of. It's quite popular, So I was a bit surprised, but anyway, we'll see. You never know.
I think it should give it a chance to air here in the United States. But then again, this is from the same country that allowed 5-6 seasons of Jersey Shore to air. So gosh, man, I would have hired Lagoon Company just to take those guys out.
Probably.
Just that MTV did before I could get a chance.
Yeah.
So anyway, blogtalkradio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Maryke Hendrikse on the air, best known as Revy from Black Lagoon, Bubbles and Powerpuff Girls Z, and Susan Test from Johnny Test. And now, because we're in cahoots with these guys, there's this convention going on in May called Cutie Mark Con.
Yeah.
It takes place May 31st through June 2nd at the Crown Plaza Cincinnati North in Cincinnati, outside of Cocoa Keys. And the reason that you're coming is because you have voiced a character on My Little Pony. I think we all, I don't know, I think I might, I believe the name was Gilda the Griffon, I believe.
Yeah.
Who I consider Revy for Rugrats. So,
pretty much, yeah.
So what was it like voicing her, I mean, in a sense, you got to be, kind of badass again, but you had to water it down for some kids. So what was it like voicing her?
It was fun. I mean, the interesting part of when I recorded that character, it was for season 1 of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, and so Friendship is Magic. So, nobody, I don't think, at that point had any idea it was going to turn into what it's turned into. So we just, you just record it as if it's a day at work. You do, you bring your best effort and creativity to the studio, and you do it, but you don't quite realize that you don't have any idea that it's going to be this phenomenon eventually. So that kind of thing that might happen if you went to the studio now to record a character on My Little Pony, didn't exist. It simply just was a show. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, I watched the show and I'm like, I still can't figure out how in the world can this show be the global phenomenon that it is today. You go to a convention, you can't help but see people dressed up as characters, and it's so mind blowing. It's like, grrr. But when you see the show, it's not like when you I know you were in one of the early My Little Ponies. That's right. The which one was it? Oh boy, I know you were in at least an early My Little Pony. It's not like
I was, yeah.
Like I think it was like Shiny Bright, like it was like a real
Brightly.
Yeah, there we go. See, I think that's the difference between that version and the new version, because the new version isn't about selling a toy. It's not all cutesy wootsy and sunshine and butterflies and rainbows and stuff that makes guys grab their bucket and go. Ugh. No, this show it adds like comedy. It adds fun music, great songs, memorable characters, and by the way, Gilda should have a second episode. I mean, if they can give John Delancey his character a second episode, why can't Gilda get one?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it, but it would be cool.
It would be. Hey, it would be 20% cooler.
Maybe they decided she's not worth redeeming.
What? No.
Maybe.
Come on. Half bird, half lion, all awesome. No, that's it. Episodes. Give a second episode. If they can give the Warner Bolts a second episode, there's no reason that we shouldn't have a second episode for Gilda. Tell us about, Cutie Mark Con. You're coming here. You're going to be part of a great cast of guests coming, and let me run down a bit of the list. Andrea Libman, who we all know as Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, Kelly Metzer, who's Spitfire, Matt Hill, Soren, and who's also been on the show. That guy will talk your ear off. He is just.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Sam Vincent, who we know as Flim from the Flim Flam Brothers, and of course some of the YouTube people who do like Rena-chan, who does Twilight in the Pony.move series. And you guys are going to be here May 31st through June 2nd at the Crown Plaza, Cincinnati North. And I gotta ask, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I actually am going to my very first My Little Pony convention this weekend. I leave tomorrow. So I will have I do know what to expect to a certain degree, because, the people that I work with have been to several My Little Pony conventions, but this will be my first one tomorrow, and so or this weekend, and so I'm really looking forward to the one in Cincinnati. I've been to Cincinnati once before, many years ago, so I'm looking forward to coming back.
Oh yeah. Oh hey, if you thought we were great then, don't keep your hopes up for this time around.
Terrible.
Oh gosh, I know. I'm sorry. I'm being a jerk. But, I know, story of my life. Hey, show's mature rating. But yes, I think you will have a great time. If one thing that Cincinnati has a lot of, it's faithful My Little Pony fans. And I know the guys running Cutie Mark Con, they pour their heart and soul into making sure everyone has the best time at this convention. Guys, if you haven't pre-regged yet, do it now. Well, do it after the show, of course. But, that's Cutie Mark Con, May 31st through June 2nd at the Crown Plaza, Cincinnati North in Cincinnati, just a little bit past Cocoa Keys, and check out cutiemarkcon.com for more information. So
yes, please come.
Yes, please come, or else we're also going to hop on Gil's back here. We're gonna start tearing down some houses, start picking them up. Yeah. If someone calls you lame, give me a call. Or just tell them to keep your pants on, Grandpa.
Oh, yeah. Keep your pants on. Yeah, that was such a great line.
Oh, that was a great line. Well, anyway, Maryke, let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. We got a couple of listener questions, and we know what, we're going to actually open up the phone line to the shrimp line. If you guys have a question for Miss Hendrikse, give us a call at area code 347-884-9149, and we'll patch you right through to her. So anyway, our first listener question is from Cedric Smith. He wants to know, which do you prefer, good girls or bad girls to voice?
Bad girls.
Why bad girls?
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. They're often, and not always, this is not always the case, but they're often more interesting.
I find bad girls to be like the rubies of the anime voice acting industry. They're so rare to find, and when you find one, you want to find the perfect one. And I've said this like the entire episode. Revy is just the perfect badass girl. I mean, they broke the mold when they designed her, and I think, and they can redub it as many times as they want. They're not gonna match what they have the first time around. It's just perfection. I mean, you say a lot of weird things, and you know what? Just because you say your breath smells like you've been sucking cock.
I wrote that line.
that was like,
totally wrote it.
When I heard that, I was like, really? We're gonna use that? Yeah. There's actually a video on YouTube where they show everyone saying "fuck" in Black Lagoon. And it's like 230-something times it's said. Revy's got at least 150 of those.
I agree. I watched it. Someone forwarded it to me once, probably about 2 years ago or something, and I watched it, and I was like, that's pretty much all Revy.
Oh, yeah. Hey, if the swearing ain't heavy, it just ain't Revy.
Yep, you're right.
So we make a t-shirt for that. Outside of anime, you're also known as Yasmin in the 3D animated Bratz series and movies. What's it like working on the Bratz series, and do you know if there's any new shows coming down the pipe soon?
I don't think that there are any Bratz things happening. I may get a surprise one day if I get a call for it. But as far as I know, that's sort of over and done with. I liked playing Yasmin. She was, the thing that I realized about the Bratz is that it was actually the shows themselves were, kind of about. They were quite positive in nature. People working together, solving problems, being a good friend. I actually thought that it was more than it looked like from the outside, and so that was a real pleasant surprise for me. And I liked playing Yasmin. She was different from the other girls. I mean, they were all quite distinct characters, but she was very smart and well spoken. Concerned about the environment and vegetarian, all that kind of stuff. I really liked that about her. So I enjoyed playing her. She was fun. It was nice to play something that like a franchise like that. It was interesting to jump into that too.
Did they ever explain why those kids have just like the incredibly large fish lips?
No, I have no idea about any of that. Eyes and the big heads and all that stuff. I have no idea what the design came from. No clue. They didn't talk about that with us whatsoever.
It just looked like those kids were raised near a nuclear plant or something.
They were certainly had a very obvious features, shall we say.
Yeah, and people are complaining that Barbie gave women self-image issues. Look at these kids. Yes, that is great there. Well, another question we have is, are there any new shows or projects that you're working on that you can tell us about?
There's two projects that I'm working on that unfortunately I can't talk about because of the non-disclosure agreement type thing.
Boo.
Yeah, boo and hiss and all that stuff. But I can tell you I did several episodes of The Little Prince. I don't know where that airs in the United States.
I'll Google it.
I played a character. Pardon me?
I'll Google it.
Okay. I played a girl named Kimmy on that show. I have a recurring character on a show called Slug Terra. I play a girl named Dana Poor, and I won't tell you anything about her. She was slightly, shall we say, badass. So that was kind of cool. And I did an audio. It's almost like an online game kind of thing. It's probably close to a year ago that I did this, but I think it's just more recently been released. It's called Hogworld. I think it's called Gnart's Journey Through Hogworld or something like that. Anyways, it's for a little game, like a choose-your-own-adventure type computer game for little kids. And the animation in it is absolutely beautiful, really beautiful. So if it interests you to check it out, it would be worth it just to look at how pretty it is. So those are the things that I'm working on, and the other, as I say, the other two things. One's a feature-length film that I can't talk about, and another is a new TV series where I play a very opposite character to somebody like Revy, who is a badass. This girl is not a badass, but very, I think, quite funny. So hopefully I'll be able to talk about it soon, but not right now.
Gotcha. Maybe come Cutie Mark Con, we'll do a follow-up interview, and maybe you can leak a little bit more out of there.
Yeah, I might be able to. It's probably fairly soon that I'm going to be able to talk about it. So.
Yeah, of course, you've also done some video games. You've done Dreamfall, The Longest Journey, Bratz Girls Really Rock, and, of course, Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2 and 3. You are Luna Maria Hawk, who is a Gundam pilot. So of course, that must have been a lot of fun, because, of course, you were also Luna Maria Hawk in Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny. Yeah,
again, she's one of the I think she's the only or one of the only female fighter pilots that they had in their group. So again, a somewhat unusual girl.
Man, why is everything so anime so sexist all of a sudden? Not enough girls.
Oh, I don't know.
Not enough badass girls. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Not enough badass girls.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go, we like to ask our guests this. Our audience is a lot of vocal majors, theater majors, drama majors, and a lot of them want to get their start in the voice acting industry. Do you have any advice for those who want to pursue a career in voice acting?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that you should really focus on, as far as I'm concerned, is theater. Whether it's training in theater or getting into doing some plays, community theater, or whatever organizations your town does, because it certainly gives you a lot of experience that's very useful as a voiceover actor. The ability to, the strength of your voice, because you're on stage, you need to project and stuff. That sort of strength and flexibility is, really necessary for a voiceover performer. But, and some of the other things that theater people do, which is like, being able to bring a lot of energy to things, is the same type of energy that you need to put out there when you're recording, particularly animation. And then the other couple of pieces of advice are you need to get a demo together, a voiceover demo, and take your time in making that demo. Make sure that it's really, really kick-ass before you start sending it out there to agents or studios for representation. Get somebody who who already works in the industry if you've got that privilege to be able to talk to them and get them to listen to your demo and give you some advice about what they like and what they think you can work on. And the other thing is, if you live in a big city, if you're lucky enough to live in a big city where they've got casting directors and voiceover things happening in the city that you live in, take workshops with casting directors. It's a great way to get yourself noticed. And the casting directors will notice if you've got some ability, then they will bring you in for auditions. So it's a great way to get in there and meet them when you may not meet them in the tangle of people and agents submitting clients for auditions. It's a great way to just be in a small group of people and get work with the cast director, get seen by them, and learn some stuff at the same time.
Well, that sounds like some really good advice there, guys. And you also can't be afraid to, pursue this. It's not easy. Let's face it. With this economy, it's really hard to get into anything. It's even tough for me to get into radio, and especially with voice acting, because voice actors, they pop up like weeds. So you gotta you gotta separate yourself from the rest of the crop. You want to prove that you are the creme de la creme, and you want to show what makes you separate from all the other ham and acres out there that want to get their start in voice acting.
And some of that's, partly got to do with the fact that, we don't live in Los Angeles. It's that's a different market. And so I don't live in Los Angeles, so some of the opportunities that I would get, at least to go in and audition for stuff, I wouldn't get just simply because I don't live there. So that's some of the reason, for that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, we talked with Kelly Sheridan in 2011 about this. The work is really pretty much scattered out to like several parts of the country. You got some down in Texas, you got some over in LA, and you got a little bit in Canada. But of course, you can't just pack up your truck and move to Beverly just because there's work there. I think that Canada has some really good prospects and some really fine voice actors, and you don't need to look any further than some of the great shows that they've brought out. Black Lagoon. I haven't been really ass kissing a lot in this show, and I am sorry. I'm sorry. That's what DJs do. We ass kiss. So And, you've got great shows like Inuyasha, you got the Gundam series, Dragon Ball Z, My Little Pony, main prospect of Canada. I think maple syrup got bumped off as Canada's #1 export.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right on that. That level, that's funny.
I mean, with all the DVDs that have been bought, with all the action figures, all the plushies, and now that you guys are being asked to come to these conventions, it's amazing. It's like a second Genesis for voice actors. Voice actors are becoming rock stars essentially. And we're humbled that you're gracing us at our little convention, our little itty bitty convention that I never thought any of you guys would be coming to. And I hope that in the future, we can have you back on and you have all these, you have more and more great roles that we can talk about.
I hope so too, and I'm happy to come on, to be on the program and do interviews with you. It's, I really enjoy doing it, and I certainly hope that I have lots to talk about. So that will be, a bonus in two ways.
Yes. Now, before we go, and I don't feel like this interview has earned the mature rating, do you think you could give us a little bit more Revy? I just gotta get my dose of Revy. It's like a drug.
What can I say? Dennis, if you ever send me a fucking email ever again, or tweet me on fucking Twitter, I'm gonna come after you, and I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out.
Okay.
Isn't that terrible? That sounds so terrible. So mean.
Hang on. Kind of. Stop shaking.
I feel like so mean that I just did that. Isn't that weird? I feel so mean. I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't really feel like that. It's just that you asked me to do the voice.
No, can I just say that was awesome.
Okay, good.
Oh, that was it. oh my God.
I should have said another word other than fuck.
No. I'm just glad you didn't say you cut my fucking balls off.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't either. If I'd said something like that, I'd be even more apologetic.
No.
Oh my God.
No, that was perfect. Oh.
Okay, I'm so glad you liked it, cocksucker.
Oh, I'm hurting. Oh, fatal. I'm falling. I'm going down. I'm dead. Gosh, man, that's like a shot. That's got it.
I can't do any of that at the cons. Somebody asked me to do that at a con I just went to in Calgary before Christmas, and I was like, I can't do any of that. There's like a whole bunch of kids in the audience. Like I just simply, and it's not like there was a thing outside my panel saying 18 and over. So I couldn't give them any Revy. Anyways, if they listen to that, they just got some.
Oh yes. Oh gosh. Hey, I got.
I'm glad.
That was perfect. Oh gosh, I just hearing that, it was just like, whew. Hang on, I gotta get my composure back up here. Okay. Let me go ahead and just get this going. Oh boy, that was wow, that was great. Well, unfortunately, guys, we are out of time for the Dennis Daniels Show for this week. I gotta thank my guest Maryke Hendrikse for being on. Black Lagoon Seasons 1 and 2 combo pack on Blu-ray and DVD from Funimation. Check her out as Susan Test from the hit Johnny Test, which you can catch weekdays on Cartoon Network. And don't forget, and I don't know if I've emphasized this enough, Cutie Mark Con, May 31st through June 2nd at the Cincinnati North Crowne Plaza Hotel here in Cincinnati. Check out cutiemarkcon.com for more information. Miss Hendrikse, thank you so much for being on the show. This was oh gosh, I'm still scared. I'm still scared. I'm gonna be sleeping with the light on. Just oh god.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for allowing me to swear. Thank you for interviewing me, and it's a real pleasure and an honor. And for those of you listening, hope to see you at Cutie Mark. It's great for me to be able to meet the people who, watch the things that I do, because without you watching, I wouldn't be working. So thank you, and thanks a lot, Dennis.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys down the road. Until next time, this is the Dennis Daniels Show saying, fuck off, Revy.